Welcome to Positive Philter with your host, Philip Wilkerson, a podcast that focuses on friends, family, health, and career, with a little self-help along the way. Please join me in this journey for self-improvement, and I hope what I have to share will make you a better person, thus making the world a better place. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Philip Wilkerson back with another episode of Positive Philter. I'm joined by a special guest. Well, everyone is a special guest. I'm joined by two young entrepreneurs that have launched an app or been launched. The app has been well established. And so I wanted to get these young creators on the podcast to one, share how they've developed this app, SpecUdate, and just any advice they want to give to other young people that want to venture on into entrepreneurship and I guess app development. But before we get started with the questions, Dennis and Cameron, can you give a little background about yourselves, for the listeners?
Okay, I'll go first. My name is Cameron Smith. I'm a senior applied computer science major with a focus in software engineering major at George Mason University. I'm from Arlington, Virginia. I grew up around here, and then in my teen years, in my junior year of high school, I moved away. I originally was pursuing professional ice hockey. Did that for a few years, lived around the country in a few different places, had a few injuries. Then I kind of looked up what computer science was, and I thought it was really cool. And I thought that I would have a lot of fun coming back and getting my education and playing club ice hockey at Mason. And that's where my whole entrepreneurial journey kind of started. And I met Dennis too. So really excited to have met Dennis and started this venture. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit about me. I love ice hockey. I love entrepreneurship. And I'm just very, very ambitious, motivated person. Dennis, how about you?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Dennis Nayandin. I'm a computer science student at George Mason. I'm also a senior. I'm finishing up this semester of 2021. Yes, I've been in computers around my whole life, so computer and computer science just seems like it was my path and my route to do. And just like Cameron, I love hockey. I've been playing since high school. I didn't start at an earlier age just because I was too skinny. My dad was afraid to put me in hockey, but after I grew, I started playing hockey. And then, yeah, that's how I met Cameron through George Mason hockey as well. So
that's crazy. Y'all both were just actually hockey and computer science. So just a match made in heaven as friends, right? That's just how that worked out. Like not just teammates, but also involved in computers. So take us back. Okay. Not everyone that studies computer science goes off and starts creating their own apps, right? That's, that side business side, of this venture. So when did that, for you two, this creation start? Where, was it after hockey practice? You're like, let's start an app, or, where did this start for you two?
I can probably guess. I'm pretty sure I was probably asking Dennis about something computer science related, because he's so genius at all that, and he's very helpful in that sense. But then I probably mentioned the idea to him, and I think you were all on board, right, Dennis, from the get-go?
Yeah. Wasn't it like after New Year's or something that we did? I forgot.
Something like that. I had a lot of draw. Yeah, I think so. I had a few drawings for a long time, just locked in my basement. I'm the kind of person, I have an idea, I'll write it down, and I might keep it locked away for years. I actually didn't think I would be able to do a social app till maybe years after my degree. But then when I met Dennis, it all came together magically, right? And this wasn't my first venture. I actually did some other things that came out of Mason, starting with I made aquarium tables for a bit. I have one behind me, actually. It's pretty cool. It kind of glows. You see it? There's fish in it. So I love doing cool, unique stuff. And Dennis and I met through ice hockey, and we kind of, I told Dennis about this idea on the phone, over the phone, and he said he was in. And we went in 50-50 on it, and we're still going to this date. And it's been a long journey. It took a lot longer than I thought it would to launch the app.
So one, I didn't even get into it. What is the app that you have? And two, a second question is, you did say it took longer than you expected to start.
Yeah.
So maybe what is the app, and then what was some of those challenges? Why it take longer to start?
So SpecUdate is basically an icebreaker type dating game. For those of you out there who are familiar with how most standard dating apps work that everyone knows about, it can be like it's usually like you go on the app, you make a profile, upload some pictures, a bio, and then when you're in the main part of the app, you're saying basically yes or no to a person based on looks and their bio, sliding left, sliding right, yes, no. And then if it's mutual, you'll both be able to connect and chat. Well, SpecUdate adds another unique aspect where everyone makes their own little two truths and a lie game, and a truth or lie game. It's a little bit of a combination of both. And it's actually used as an icebreaker. So when you come across someone's profile in the app, you're not just going to make a decision on them based on first looks. You're actually going to slide up on their profile and play that game. And if both people play each other's games, they'll have a very high percentage of matching. And you only have to get like 50% of the answers correct. It's just meant to be fun. And if both people play each other's games, they'll have a chance at connecting. And we use the result of that truth or lie game as an icebreaker tool once they're in the chat. Because a lot of people before we started the venture, we interviewed a lot of people and they said, I never know what to say on dating apps. The conversations suck. It's super boring. So we added the icebreaker tool, which extends from the game part of it. Dennis, what do you have to say on that?
Yeah, I mean, I basically agree with Cameron said. Just it's our apps like any other dating social app, except it has the element of this icebreaker. So it kind of helps users connect, and if they don't know what to say in the beginning of a chat, they can go to the icebreaker tool, find out it's like, oh, I can't believe this is true about you or this is false about you, and then build off of that and
exactly
have an ease up to a conversation versus just going off of saying nothing to each other.
Yeah, that's basically the app in a nutshell, Philip.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to why you start later, but from what I understand, then you are trying to build more of an authentic relationship rather than just superficial looks. Like you look like this, you like that. You want to build an authentic relationship. And
absolutely.
Like, how do you connect to people? Social connection. What do you like? Interest, and get to a little bit of a deeper connection before you start.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, I know y'all was trying to get me on the dating app, but I was like, I can't get on this. I'm married. If my wife saw me on some dating app, she'd be like, yo, what you doing trying to step out on me? But
it's not for everyone. Not for everyone. Not for everyone.
But with that being said, I do know in regards to just friendships and all the just how I'm older. I'm in my 30s. I know that one of the things I know with certain generations is that like we got a lot of choices. And it is like, we're making choices on people based on just straight aesthetics, swiping left and right and all that. But what people really, I would assume, we watch all these dating shows and Married at First Sight in all those shows, is that people want a deeper connection. They want to meet people that they can have conversations with, or meet people that, like, I guess the truth and the lie, they get a little deeper rather than just the superficial looks. And I think that's what your app does.
Yeah, absolutely. And we want them to have fun. We want them to enjoy the process. Dating in itself, especially online dating, it's a crapshoot no matter which way you spin it, right? So you might as well enjoy it, right? It's the universe. You don't know if you're going to meet the person. You may not, but we want people to enjoy the process. And by gamifying it and allowing users to, and adding some cool sounds, allowing the users to earn coins for guessing correct answers about people, we really try to bring the fun aspect and have people dating should be a relaxing, enjoyable process for people. It should not be stressful, superficial. And a lot of these other services we found, and my experience, sometimes I really it really made me feel kind of crappy a little bit, just it's kind of like window shopping for people, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was thinking about that. Like, I'm glad I missed the online dating world. I met I was 18 years old back in 03. So like if you could get some context, there was no apps like that. So yeah. I joke with the young people now that like, y'all have another layer to deal with in regards to connecting with people and the cell phones and the smartphones that I necessarily am glad I missed, I don't know. And then, I meet all my 30-year-old friends right now that are entering the dating world a little bit later in life. And yeah, I think that you nailed it on the head that this is, you got a lot of stresses in life, right? You know, work, some people have families when they're trying to date. And so I think that this, you know, you don't want this to be another additional stressor. And
Absolutely.
so I think that's a great way.
Absolutely.
So,
And what one thing I wanted to add real quick is that it's also for friends. We have some new implementations on the app. First of all, it's all inclusive. Gender orientation doesn't matter. You can even type in your gender if you want it. Secondly, if you want to see, we have nationwide mode. They can see people all across the country. Doesn't matter. COVID's kind of made that we had to do that. Mm-hmm. And lastly, if they want to see everyone, no matter their gender orientation settings, they can choose a switch that allows them to see everyone, male, female, doesn't matter, everyone. And that's really cool. I really like that about SpecUdate, that we've been able to do that. I think we've done a great job making it inclusive and for everybody.
So take us back. Okay, so you said what extended the process? Take us through the creative process. You know, and you said obviously we're in a pandemic that probably added some additional challenges, but you said it took longer than you wanted to launch. So what was some of those early challenges that you experienced?
I'll talk about this first, then I'll let Dennis speak on the technical side. The first part was really knowing what we wanted. Me as the visionary, knowing what I wanted. So I had to do before you develop an app, you have to know, one, how it looks, and two, the logic, the function. How is it going to function? What is the user story? What is the user story? And we didn't do perfect at this by any means. There were a lot of things we were like, oh crap, we should have thought about that before. Why did we think of that, Dennis? Why did I think of that? But I swear, if you saw this diagram, you'd be like, oh my God. I had a diagram of the app, every page, every color, all the looks, the 100 different screens. And you basically have a prototype, just a visual prototype, what it looks like. And then Dennis and it took a long time to do that. I had a lot of late nights just drawing up the SpecUdate color scheme, the looks, every page. I still have that diagram, that prototype today. And it was intense. And then Dennis and I came together and we came up with the user story of what the experience would be for the user. Now, Dennis, I'll let you speak further on that.
Yeah, so I mean, before we even started the app, I was playing around with some frameworks for app building.
Right.
So when Cameron first showed me the drawings, I just decided, let me just start building off the app. And one of it's Ionic and Angular is a framework. Yeah. And so I was doing that. And then I realized I'm not too familiar with Ionic or Angular, and I'm still learning. And then our app design wasn't fully there. So I did some research, and then I found Adobe XD, which was like a really powerful tool for prototyping your app. So that's when Cam was talking about designing his app. I threw that software at him, and I just said, go ahead, design the whole app. And he did that within like a month, which is crazy. But then I switched to a different framework called React Native, which is a really good, popular front end, back end design for app. So it took us a bit longer just because we initially were, just as Cameron said, kind of not fully, I guess, understanding what we fully needed. There was a lot of it. We needed to seek a lot of advice and stuff, which we got. And so, I mean, it just took us a bit longer. But I mean, for just the two of us making the app, I think it's a pretty good timeline.
Yeah, and balancing with school is definitely hard.
Balancing schoolwork.
You talk about student entrepreneurs, balancing with school is one of the reasons why people don't pursue it. I mean, and it sucks because this is the time to take risks now. In college, this is the time where people should do this, and I wish more students really went after it earlier, because it gets harder as you get older.
Oh, hey, you're preaching to the choir here as an older person, but you said you had to seek some advice. So like, what was some of the advice you had to seek, and people ahead of you? And Dennis, you're the one that said that. Like you said, we had to look out for some advice. So who'd you seek advice from and get some guidance from?
I guess you want me to go off first?
Yeah, go. Yeah.
So I guess for technical side, I didn't really see like anyone personal for advice. It was majority online. Because I mean, like with any of these frameworks or just in general computer science, you learn everything online. Like any problem or whenever you're stuck, you always have to Google, how do you do this? How do you do this? So because I've never built an app before, I had to do a lot of that. So that's what majority of all the advice for technical stuff came to me.
And for business and marketing, we reached out to the Mason Entrepreneurship Center, the Center for Innovation Entrepreneurship, talked to them. We worked with Mason SBDC, free business counseling for students once a month. Love that. We work with George Saragusa there. He's amazing. He's awesome. Recently talked to Jim Wolf. He's a business professor at George Mason University. He's super cool. David Miller leads the Entrepreneurship Center. And we also reached out to some other people who've been down the path of launching an app. And we learned kind of what data we needed to track, how we need to go about marketing. Thankfully, I bring my own experience with marketing a product. I don't study any marketing. So I bring my experience with Instagram and other social media platforms, and marketing has been probably right now one of the biggest challenges for us, but we seek advice when we need it for sure. And we're also trying to get other students experience too. Like we've just brought on a content creator from Morgan State. I think she's a sophomore there, and she does film there, a multi-platform production. She's awesome. And also we brought on a marketing strategist, volunteer intern as well. So these are students as well. So we want to help to get them experience, and they can help us with what they're learning in school. So, and it's so funny. I actually met the marketing strategist girl on Omegle. I was just bored one night, and I networked with the student. I networked with the student on Omegle who had marketing experience. Can you believe that? And now she's on our team. Unbelievable. Lives in Louisiana. No, I'm serious.
You didn't tell me that part.
I didn't tell you that part, Dennis, but if you met her, you'd be like, holy cow. I was going to tell you, but you got to meet with us, Dennis.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
That's crazy.
I know, right? It's crazy how people are meeting.
Yeah, let's go back. Like, so, you know, it is crazy that how people are meeting. Your inner generation that is built on this. You're branching off on your own aspect in your own. I guess there is a full, as you said, social platform industry, and you're just finding your own niche in that, right?
Absolutely.
How did you do some market research to see what's already out there, and how, was it just from your own experiences to see what was already out there and what was going to make your creation a little bit different?
That's an awesome question. And actually I went a lot of personal experience, because I actually was a person who relied on dating apps, because when I was 17, I was living away from home with a host family, like playing hockey and stuff. And I wanted to get into dating. I wanted to build my confidence dating, and I was really shy. So and my teammates told me to try the dating apps, and I did. And I got a lot of experience with them, and some good, some bad, some ugly. And I put it all together basically and said, what would I do if I was to launch a social app to make it, more fun and relaxed, but also still building that deeper connection between people. And that's where there was a bingo moment, Philip. And that was when I bought a lottery ticket one day. I think I just turned 21. And I'm like, wow, this is you fill out your numbers and you try to win, right? That's kind of like dating, right? So what if we had like a little quiz type thing where people play each other's games, and then the icebreaker, everything just kind of built on top of that, right? And then while we were building the product, I started surveying people at Mason and asking them what they think of the idea, while also getting their email sign up, obviously, if I could, trying to get people pre-signed up. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's go into that. So you already had like a sample size of people at Mason. So take us to that experience where you're like, trying to connect with other students, good, bad, ugly. Say, yo, I got this app. Tell us some stories where some people are like, you got my face, like,
absolutely,
this is crazy. Or people are like, okay, I'll give you a try. Like, tell us that story. Like, you really, you are launching an app in the community that you're involved in. Take us through that experience.
It's definitely not always pretty. I mean, there's people who grow to not like you because I don't know. I was the SpecUdate guy on campus. I became known as the SpecUdate guy. So yeah, when Dennis and I started building the app, we said, okay, we're going to try to get to 1,000 email signups. We're going to try to get to 2,000 email signups. And before that semester even started, this was the 2 semesters before COVID. Yeah.
Okay.
I put flyers everywhere. We're talking like I had a bunch of business cards. We put them on light posts. We took advantage of every space that we could without.
I did see that. I saw that. So shout out to you. Y'all was grinding. I saw that.
I'm a one-man army, Philip.
Yeah.
I'm a one-man army. So yeah, I've seen people take a card from me. Like sometimes I would be at the kiosk. I've seen people take a card and literally just walk to the trash and throw it out in front of my face. And I just smile at them because, that's just, that's going to happen. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see that, but you have to build brand awareness. And it takes a lot of courage. Years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this. I didn't have the confidence, but you have to be willing to talk to strangers for something like this. And that's why it takes more than just a developer. It takes more than just a marketer. It takes a team that gels right to get what you need when you need it. And I was a little disappointed because when we launched in October, we sent out the launch email and not as many students as I thought who had signed up. We had about close to 2,000 signups actually became users. But I learned from that because I'm like, well, maybe I should have gone for more quality over quantity, But at the same time, it's all learning, Your first, when it comes to entrepreneurship, your first adventure is not always your last, and is often definitely usually not your last. And you keep learning from experience. And the marketing, it was tough. And we tried to take advantage of everything we could in terms of platforms. And when COVID hit, it was like, oh crap, I can't get any more email signups from people in person. So we switched to Instagram marketing.
I love that. So, obviously, the campus was your main community, but also
right.
I've seen, and you told me that you're expanding and getting more markets. So how do you get away from just being like, the SpecUdate guy at Mason and getting a little bit more awareness throughout the DMV or the Eastern region? How do you get more awareness and what you're doing for that? And then additionally, I would love to hear the positive story. Like, what was one where you launched the app at the Mason community and you got that immediate feedback that this was helpful for someone at Mason? So that's kind of a 2-parter.
Okay. Dennis, why don't you start this one?
Well, I guess the way we started globally, not globally, but more reaching out towards Eastern Coast was ambassadors. That's what we started doing on Instagram. And because with Facebook ads, our generation, the ages of between 18 and, well, I'm 23 and I think Cameron's also 23.
Yeah.
But between those ranges, like barely people use Facebook. So we decided Facebook ads were generating. Yeah.
I'm laughing because I'm an old head that's on the Facebook. I know that. I'm glad y'all said that. I'm getting it. I go ahead. I'm gonna let y'all keep on going, right. David, Dennis. But I definitely feel that age. I'm glad y'all did some of that marketing. Y'all know the old people are not on the other on Facebook. But
crap, I feel like I'm on the older spectrum because
I'm there.
I was using Facebook for a little bit as well. I was 18. So when I see our generation, no one uses Facebook. So I'm like, huh, dang, well, that's kind of weird.
Well, now we have TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. Oh, my God. But yeah, so I guess we just decided more our audience, is all on Instagram. So we started reaching out. We started doing, I think it was Instagram ads, but that was through Facebook.
Yep.
And then we realized people would just skip through that and no one really pay attention.
Right.
So that's when Cameron decided, let's start doing this ambassador program. Then I guess I'll get Cameron go off, explain about that.
Yeah, for sure. You also mentioned a positive experience coming out of that initial user base at Mason. Mm-hmm. And what I really liked about that was we had beta testers too. Before launching, we had a bunch of beta testers and they gave us a ton of great testimonials. They're all on our website. You go to SpecUdate.com/testimonials. And they're just kind of saying what we kind of went over, how the app's different and why it really pops compared to other services. And I got to bring up this moment the other day that just really made me smile. First of all, we had our first success story that was brought to me. So I'm really happy about that, from a couple that met in Pittsburgh, apparently. So I was really happy about that. Trying to interview them. We'll see. And then this other student who actually goes to Mason, this person is unique. I'm not going to say how they're unique out of respect for this person, but they messaged me on Facebook. I think they were just saying something, a bug that was going on with the app. And I said, okay, we'll fix it. But I was so happy. This person they just enjoyed playing the game. And it was a unique person. And out of respect for that person, I'm not going to say why or how, but they're having fun on the app. And that's just what this was my dream. I love this. I love connecting people. I love making people happy and bringing people together. And we get to do that during a time where it's in demand. I mean, COVID, you know what I'm saying? And people are seeking that human contact. So that's why I'm glad we're able to do this. And that's some positive things out of the initial Mason user base and spanning outside. But yeah, we are trying to get in other states. And this ambassador program, we recruit our ambassadors on Instagram, and we have them post some stories about us. But also with these ambassadors, we also try to engage with them. What do you like about the app? What do you not like? It's really important to get that feedback on your product. All you young entrepreneurs out there, your customers come first. If they say something's wrong, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And if 5 of them say something's wrong, something's really, really wrong. Okay. Okay. So we really try to have a personal connection with these ambassadors. We want them to become users of the app, but we also want to get their feedback and the process. So right now we're trying to fine tune that ambassador program process. Obviously we're on a budget. We don't have investors. We are trying, in marketing terms, we're trying to matter for now. And then once we get to a certain point, and I'm just in the process of drawing up that marketing plan, we'll move to the next stage. But we need to matter for now in this X amount of areas, metropolitan areas, right? Among college students, mainly freshmen, sophomores, some junior, senior. And we need to fine tune that ambassador program process, how we onboard them, what they post, what they bring to us, what we can do for them. So that is what we are doing right now. And we did try, like Dennis said, social media paid ads, but unfortunately our generation, they seem to just ignore it, especially for things like this. So we want that organic, authentic connection with people. And that's why I wanted to bring on the content creator that I brought, content creators and marketing strategist students, to get them some resume experience, help them, but also help us. And we start working together to try to figure out this is the way, and sometimes the way you think is the way is not the way. And you have to pivot and you have to be agile, as we say in programming.
Yeah.
So that is where we are at, Philip. And it's hard right now. We're going through a little bit of adversity because midterms and students kind of assignments piling up. So activity kind of goes down on dating apps, but we're going to get through this. And I seriously, I'm one of the most determined people you ever meet. If I want something, I will go to all ends to try and get to where I want to get to. And you have to fail over and over again to get to that point. So you're going to fail. If you're starting a business, you're going to fail. But it's really how you take that. Do you back down, or do you move on to the next thing? And eventually you're going to break through. You're going to break through no matter what you do. And you're going to rise above it all.
So I love that. So one of the things I'm very curious about this whole experience, especially as young students and just anyone that's a business, right? Obviously, this is a 24/7 thing, right? Like, you can go to sleep and think about this. So how do you compartmentalize this and say, I'm only going to do the business, this time of day, or I don't know. How do you structure your time? Because I could see this going down the rabbit hole, the slope, and you focus all on business and not on school, or other relationships or just friendships. How do you organize your time to make sure that you're putting enough for the business, but giving enough to yourselves, as students or young people, and also school, all those different things you're working on? How do you organize yourselves?
I'll let Dennis answer that one.
Yeah, because I already know what kind of answer you're going to give out. But so when I first started freshman year of college, I was also playing junior hockey. So at that time, I definitely learned time management is like a huge skill factor I really had to do because, I had practice almost every, like 4 out of the 5 nights a week. And then we have games in the weekend. So you're constantly out. And then Cameron had this exact same type of, schedule. But so, I mean, my first 2 years of college, they were pretty rough at first just because trying to get everything done and play hockey was really tough. But then I guess junior year, something clicked and everything started picking up. And I guess so now when SpecUdate coming along, I guess I kind of already knew where to throw that time, where I can spend time. So a lot of the time was like winter break, summer break. I don't know, any time when there was like leeway between school, but obviously school came first. And then if I did a part-time job, that came, and then SpecUdate.
Right. Yeah. And on my end, this is something I work on I try to get better at every day, but sometimes I struggle with it. Sometimes I'm terribly balanced. And that's just something you have to assess every day and try to get better at. But, because marketing, especially, it's a daily grind. You can't stop marketing something. Like if a dating app doesn't have users or stops getting users, then people are just going to delete the app, right? So it is a grind. And late nights, I have pretty much have insomnia, I believe. I stay up pretty late anyways. But yeah, like it's hard because you're so enthusiastic about the business and less enthusiastic about school oftentimes. So I'm an honest person, I mean, I got to say computer science is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be going in. And the 400 levels are going to be hard as well. So balancing time is going to be really important. But yeah, you have to find that balance and find a way to get through things. And at the same time, you don't want your business to die, it's your baby, right? So, but I encourage, I think for me, oftentimes, even with hockey, I just decided that I wasn't going to rush college. I took less classes. I didn't do 4 classes at once. A lot of people do 18 credits at once. And I'm like, how the heck do you do that? I talked to a girl the other day. She's in computer science. She's taking 18 credits. Do you think she has time to run a business? No. We're in one of the most time consuming degrees. So with programming projects, so can I say it depends on your major as well? Because I'm telling you, someone who's is in a different major may have more time than us. And if we can do it, you can do it. Okay.
I was just curious. I mean, do you like block time? Like, this is my SpecUdate time. This is my homework time. I mean, do you time block, or you're just like, drinking from a water hose? Like, I'm just gonna do, I'm just gonna take this as it comes in. All these demands as they come in, or you like let's say I'm using myself as an example. You saw that when I schedule my podcast, I'm only doing Sundays and Wednesday night at 9 p.m. That's the only thing I'm doing because I know that this is my podcast time. I got kids and stuff, and this is I dedicate it, and I tell all the guests, if you want to be a guest on my podcast, this is how much I allocate it, and we'll make it work. Like, my podcast is not going nowhere. We'll do it, but I know that like I had to protect this time because I got fatherhood and all that stuff. So and as I say this example, it took me like a couple seasons of the podcast to realize that Sundays and Wednesdays is my, it took trial and error.
Right.
But do you have like a time like, or at least for you guys, for you to plan, do you guys like have like weekly meetings where like, me and Cameron, this is, Dennis and Cameron, this is our get together and talk about SpecUdate time, or you just kind of freestyle it day to day with each other too?
Well, Dennis and I are such kind of close friends that we talk almost on a daily basis. So meetings are kind of sprawled, but we'll have weekly development meetings often. But on the marketing side, I'm meeting with my content creators every week, once a week. But in terms of time dedicated towards SpecUdate, I think about it all the time, and I allocate too much time to it, probably a lot. And I'm honest with myself about that. But at the same time, that's good to be passionate about something. That's good to have something that you're really into, because a lot of people just go through the motions during college and say, yeah, I'm going to get a degree. I'm going to get a well-paying job. And I had this idea, but no, the money's too good. You know what I'm saying? And I want this, like, this is what I want. Like, I want to connect people. I want this app to succeed. If this dies, like, I will that would kill me. I would get through it, obviously, but geez, we put so much work into this, Dennis, that we want it to succeed. We don't want it to fail, So, but failure is okay. It's just if you're gonna do something like this, an app, you asked about people who want to start apps and software projects, be all in. Because if you're not all in, I'm sorry, you're not going very far. No, and that's no offense to anyone. It's just hard. Okay. It's no joke. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. And I did that at Mason. I put myself out there. I got known as a SpecUdate guy. And when I go back, who knows what they'll call me? They might call me the crazy guy. But
the crazy SpecUdate guy.
The crazy SpecUdate guy.
There you go.
So
now, I respect that, and honestly, I feel that too because, and I think that's where a line. I'm glad that you talk about it. It's like, even with this podcast, I don't think I'm the crazy podcast guy, but it is a commitment to something like, there was a time where I was like, I could just stop recording right now, but it was like a commitment. Like I felt like it was something for me. Like it was something that I didn't want to quit on. And I do realize that that shameless, like not the shameless plugness, but like I have no problem meeting someone for the first time and say, hey, my name is Philip Wilkerson. I got a podcast. Like, I don't know, because it's just something that's like over time is something I'm very proud of. And if someone like makes fun of me or like, puts it down, that's their loss. Like you said, they won't know what it's like to try something. Like I could say that I created something and I stuck with it. I know I kind of feel that. I feel that vibe. Like, I feel what you're saying. Like when you really believe in something, like something you create, like you created a business or an app.
As bad as you want to breathe.
You believe in it so much that, yeah. Like you don't care. You don't really get embarrassed when someone's like, "Oh, you got a podcast?" Yes, I do. Like, and you own it. Like you own it 100%. I really felt that. One of the things I was thinking about, and this comes up to you two, is that as you approach graduation, right? You're gonna get. I don't know. I'm not your parents, whatever. You're gonna get the choice, like, say get a real job because you have it. Like, get this 9-to-5 job, or continue with entrepreneurship. What obviously we're looking into the future. What are your thoughts? What are y'all thinking of? What are y'all thinking about that in regards to with this? Continue to have SpecUdate as your side venture while you get this 9-to-5 with some software company that pays you 6 figures, because I know you guys computers. Y'all make me mad that I got to go back to school and wish I did computer science. y'all gonna get snatched up. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Reality.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. So for me, just in general, I love learning a lot, or learning anything. So learning a lot more technical stuff. So me trying to find a job after college definitely is like a priority. And we've gotten to the point for SpecUdate where we don't have to do much development anymore. It's kind of like maintenance and then, upgrades or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's not like that'll take up 24 hours of the day for me, or, once I have like a 9-to-5 job, there's definitely a lot of time I can allocate that to SpecUdate, or,
right.
Not for day, but like in a week I can allocate.
Same for me here. So same for me here. Definitely want to get employed, but want to have SpecUdate on the side running that. And I got a girlfriend. We both have relationships to maintain too, so that's part of the challenge. But yeah, I wanted to. Once I nail down this marketing plan, hopefully it's easier to run at the same time as doing work. But we'll see, right? It's an adventure. It's always an adventure. I think I'm definitely not going to give it up. That's for sure. We're going till the end. Does dating ever end? No. No. So we're not, but we'll see how far we can scale it, right? Because how we value ourselves right now is by how many users we have and how many areas. So the key is get as many users as you can on a budget. I think the next step for Dennis and I is, now that we've got the app built out and almost stable, we need to maintain the app at the lowest cost and make our user acquisition cost as low as possible. And if we can do that, where we can do that at the same time as balancing our jobs and managing our time and consistently growing the app at a decent pace, doesn't have to be insane, but you have to be growing, then we'll be okay. So the question is, every day is a new problem and you have to find a new solution. That's the nature of this kind of thing. But yeah, I'm in the process of drawing up that marketing plan, and we won't be doing it'll be more maintaining the app rather than doing so much upgrades at once. The scopes that I send over to dentists have become smaller and smaller and smaller. Now it's more like small things, like little tweaks here and there. And then maybe once we get to somewhere between 100,000 users and millions, then that's when you think, well, do we need help now? Do we need to seek investors? Do we need to consider working with one of the big players? There's some big players in this market, but that's not a question we're asking now. That's part of the business plan, but it's not a question we ask now. It's just scaling.
I like that. So in regards to business plan, wow, like that's crazy because I need to think about that. Like I got like life goals and 5-year goals for myself, but not a business wise. So like
I saw a TED talk was on your list.
Yeah, that's it. And it's going to happen. I tell you that it's going to happen, but
you could do it, man. You could be on that stage, man. I believe in you.
I could speak it into existence, but like, how do y'all do that? Like, did y'all go to the drawing board? Do you have like a real strategic plan? Like for instance, when I say that real, like I work in an office and they typed it out and it's all like legit, like a full packet, a strategic plan. Do you have one of those like really drafted strategic plans?
Or yeah,
I guess we do. I mean, I was going to say like, yeah, majority of all of our business plan was kind of just like some hindsight, but then as well as all the advice we've been getting.
The advice I got recently from Jim Wolf at Mason, the business professor, is to write that 5-page business plan, write that 5-page marketing plan, because now's the time, right? And start tracking these stats. You need to know your cost per user. You need to know how many users you're getting a month, a year, whatever. What areas are you in? What is your age of your users? Get all this stuff. So it's always an ongoing process, but I really feel like sometimes I get criticized a lot for this because I'm more like, let's try this and this and this and this, and then I'm not organized. So I get criticized for that all the time as an entrepreneur and just go. Well, Cameron, slow down. And what's the goal here? And everyone tries to slow me down. And I'm fast in hockey and I'm fast in my thoughts and I'm fast when it comes to planning ideas, but everyone has strengths and weaknesses, right? So I need to work on being more organized with the business plan. I think we do need to write something down for sure.
Yeah, funny. That's me. I was about to joke like you're my spirit animal because when I started the podcast, it was rip and run. Until I met one of my colleagues, Christy Michaels, and she's like, do you like write down your episodes or space them out? And now I'm like, no. And now I do because of her. I have like, podcast goals and actual like schedule out my episodes or all those things. So, I would say it's a gift and a curse, as in the gift is I'm action.
You're a hustler.
I do. But I definitely realized that over time, I definitely need a system. System's always been helpful for me. I don't know. I think I'm speaking a lot. I was like, wow, like I feel like, some of the things that you're bringing up a lot of things in me as an individual, and not in a bad, I mean, in a positive way, like the things of like, believe in yourself or, going, just let's go. And it's like, wow, I'm like listening. I'm like, wow, these are all things where I'm like, I'm taking lessons too and applying it to myself, like you're applying it to your business. So maybe we'll keep each other account. Maybe I'll hit you up randomly and say, I wrote out like, what's your goals for the next 5 years? And you bounce off some ideas in regards to that. Well, actually, that kind of leads into my question. What are, some of your goals, for this? Like, what are some concrete goals that you have for this app? And maybe not the 5-year ones, just at least to survive 2021. What are some of the 2021 goals you have?
I would love to somehow find a way to get to 10,000 users.
Okay.
It's not going to be easy, but you got to look at 5,000, then you got to look at 10,000, then you got to look at 100,000. And I really want to get more exponential growth. We have consistent growth kind of where we get new users each day here and there from different states, but I want that exponential growth. And part of sometimes I question myself if COVID just needs to end for that to happen, because we're not getting as much word of mouth as I would want because students aren't meeting in person, and hurts. That hurts bad. But we found alternative ways to market, and we are still trying to scale the business and seeking advice where we can. So for me, it's just getting that next batch of users and one step at a time, but also building towards the end goal, which is really towards where this takes off and we start seeing really large growth. Dennis, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, just like what you said, it's all like a staircase. It's all just steps to increase the amount of people we have. And I mean, for us, 2021, we're just trying to expand all across East Coast. And then, if we've tackled all of East Coast, we might start spreading out.
I think one challenge is, and I ask myself this every day, I say, am I spreading ourselves too thin by targeting New York already? Like we started in Virginia and why are we already in New York? But at the same time, you really want to get into those metropolitan areas. You want to get into those new areas, because if you can get into those areas, you should be able to get anywhere, because it's sprawled out areas. But then you think about, but I started in the GMU community with these users. What about them? And then it's a big balance, like, because we only have so much marketing resources, right? So where do we put them? That's a challenge to get on our journey to get to this goal.
But maybe there's an interesting trend, and I'm very curious to see, like you said, the what will be post COVID, because from my understanding, right, like regardless of depths, right, or there's digital world that we're living in, nothing replaces in person. And so what maybe might be curious to see, and maybe we'll do a follow-up episode, is like maybe the app will blossom because people are making connections, but then at the very root of all relationships, they want to see each other in person. Like even you say you have a significant other across the pond, right? But at the root of it in this yearning is that you still want to see each other face to face, right? Like, and so maybe, like you said, maybe the app is a great launching point for people to meet. But what will take your app to the next level is once they meet on this app, if they have opportunities to really meet in person when it's safe, and maybe that will grow. I don't know. I'm just thinking like that because, like, I love talking to people. I love recording this podcast, but like, I'll be honest with you, I love my episodes even more. I love my podcast episodes even more when I got the mic in front of me and you got the mic in front of you, and we're at the same location in this, like in a studio or whatever. It's a different vibe. And so I think people are yearning for that. I think one of my thoughts is no matter how far we advance in technology, right? Like no matter how much we could, from the phone to the like at the bare minimum, I think as human beings, we're still meant to connect face to face. So I don't know. I'll be very curious. I will put on my predictive hat, and I will say that SpecUdate that spike curve will go through the roof once people can meet on the app and say, yo, I really enjoyed meeting you on this app. Let's link up at the JC or something. I don't know. Like I'm just seeing people meet on this app and then wanting to meet in person,
Absolutely. And for them also for them to tell other people about the app,
in person. Right. Like they met on, like what they'll do is they'll get around their friends in person and say, yo, I met, my new girlfriend or new boyfriend. How'd you meet that person? I met him on this app. And then, like you're right, that word to word, face to face, word of mouth.
Yeah. Word of mouth.
The word of mouth. Because I think one of the things I've learned over time too, obviously as we replace, we have all these marketing techniques, all these like Facebook ads, all that stuff. But like at the end of the day, like who you take advice from is still within your personal circle.
Your circle. Absolutely. That's what we want, Philip.
Yeah.
And that's cheaper. That's cheaper, man.
Yeah.
That's hell of a lot cheaper.
No, like a real estate agent, most real estate agents get their business from oh, I bought a house from this dude. He's a good real estate agent. And there's word of mouth. That's definitely, and I think the pandemic has been a large barrier in word of mouth communication.
Huge. Oh my God, huge. Oh my God, yeah.
We initially thought it'd be the opposite. We thought,
yeah. I mean, I thought about it too. I thought about like work has been a lot, it's been a lot more efficient in regards to productivity.
Yeah.
I've actually worked harder during the pandemic than I ever did.
Depends your field, right? Depends on your field. But
I will say this though, I know I'm in my wheelhouse when I see people face to face. That's me individually.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is great. Well, this is the part of the show called Shot for Shot, but we got 3 people. So what we're going to do is, Cameron, you're going to ask a random question. It has nothing to do with this podcast, to entrepreneurship, to me and Dennis. And then Dennis, you're going to ask a random question to me and Cameron, and then I'll ask a random question to you two. And we'll just go like that in a random triangle as my shot for shot. I usually do that. That's how I do with 3 people. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Actually, no, Philip, you go. Philip, you go first.
Okay. So this is my question for both you guys, right? That's how I do it. So you play hockey, right?
Yeah.
You both play hockey.
Yep.
Now, what is your favorite hockey team? Right? Your favorite, personal favorite hockey team.
And
then individually, who's your favorite hockey player? Why for both of those?
Oh, well, Dennis knows some of the Capitals, so he's gonna say one of the Capitals. He's got some Russian friends on that team.
Yeah. Usually I just, I'm Russian. So the short story is,
so you go first, Dennis.
I'm Russian. Huh?
You said you go first.
No, the answer?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, so Capitals, I mean, it's kind of an obvious one. I don't know. I'm not like I'm a bandwagon from other teams. But man, I don't know. Favorite player, it's a hard one because, one day we were sitting at a bar and Ovi asked me, he's like, who's your favorite player? And I was like,
Alex Ovechkin. He's talking about Alex Ovechkin.
I was talking about Ovechkin. But I was like, I don't know, you? But then I don't know. That's kind of I honestly don't know who my favorite player is. Just there's always a lot of players that have like mixed type of skills. Like Datsuk, his hands are crazy. Ovi is intense speed, fast, and then you'll kill a player and he shoots like crazy. And then there's Backstrom, who's always looking for assists. So those 3 combination of those players, I would say.
That's a good answer. You got the 3, you got the trifecta right there. You saved yourself. You got yourself safe with that answer. That's funny too, because I ain't gonna lie. If someone like any player said, "Who's your favorite player?" I probably would just say that, John. So I just like look good, like like if it wasn't like who's the best quarterback, and it's like Jameis Winston or something. I'm like, yeah, you, Jameis Winston. I just named some random player, but that's pretty dope. How'd you? I had to go off on a branch off. How are you just hanging out with Ovi like that? How did that happen?
Oh man, so I don't know. I'll give a quick, short, long story. So when I moved to Virginia with my dad or my parents, my dad wanted to play some ice hockey here, and so there were some 3 young guys that played on the team out here that my dad started playing with, and they're Russian. So when Ovechkin and Alexander Semin came, they were looking for friends. So those 2 guys met up with those 3 friends, and through the years they became friends. And I guess through the years, my parents have met up with them a couple of times, and then they opened up this sauna place out in Centerville called Spa World. And we started going there, and Ovi started going there, and all the other Russian players started going there, and we just became better friends ever since. So when Orlov and Kuznetsov came, we just became immediate friends automatically. So
wow, look at that!
So
this
cool,
dude's stunting. Dude's stunting on us, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, he is. What the heck, man?
Hey, that's crazy.
They're just regular guys. They're just good at hockey. So
there you go. That's crazy. All right. What about you, Cameron? What's your favorite hockey team and your favorite player?
So I like the Caps. Grew up around here. And on the Capitals, I would just say John Carlson. He's just an amazing defenseman. The guy, he just makes hockey look easy in general. He looks so effortless. How he can play offense as a defenseman. I just watch it every night. I'm like, he looks like he's just taking it easy, and all the other guys are struggling sometimes on defense to play both ways. But I like John Carlson. I also wear his number. He's number 74. And Ovechkin obviously is super exciting to watch, so you can't really ignore him. So both of those guys are probably right now my favorites. But I have a lot of other, athletes who I look up to who've gone through adversity and come back and been the best at what they do. So I like it when there's a story, like someone went through something and then they found a way to come back and be the best, or they no one believed in them and then they I really love those kind of stories. They inspire me. So those kind of athletes, and also entrepreneurs too.
I love it. All right. So who wants to go next for the question for the other two people?
I'll go.
All right. Go ahead.
I guess you guys watching Bachelor or no?
Yep.
I watched the old season of Bachelor, but I could just do a random question about it.
No, I'm not gonna ask you because I was gonna ask who he's gonna choose for the final. The guy. So it's not a good question.
No.
Let's see. What else can I ask about? I guess if COVID ended today, how would you celebrate?
Perfect. That's a great answer. No, actually, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that because I actually thought about that. So thank you so much, Cameron. Really, no, seriously. I am a social butterfly. I'm going crazy. I thought about this, and this is no joke. I was so tempted, like literally just going to a store or, Total Wine, buying a keg and just saying, and this joke, this is the social butterfly part, and going somewhere and saying, hey, we're all safe to meet up with each other. I was thinking like and say, come to this park. I got a keg and I got some food, and just have a random barbecue. And whoever shows up off my Facebook, they show up. And I just see people I haven't seen in a while. Like that's how bad I just miss large gatherings that are safe. Like I know, and here's the funny part. I know people are doing that already. You go look at like Instagram, people turn up in Atlanta. I'm like, I can't do that. But like when it's completely safe,
yeah,
that's it. Like I really miss large
turn up in Atlanta. Is that what you said?
Yeah, they turn up in Atlanta. I see it. I see it. There's no mask, nothing. I be seeing I be seeing this stuff, and I'm like, dang, like they really in a club right now, no mask, just hanging out with each other.
That's not good.
I was like, I can't do that, but that's my goal. Like, would just be like hosting. It either be a keg or barbecue, a party, just something where I get to see a lot of my friends. It'd be like we're good to go party or something like that. Like.
Right.
See people.
Gotcha.
And that would be my first thing I do when COVID's complete. Like I feel safe when COVID's done.
Dennis?
My initial response was just like take shots of vodka. I don't know.
My God. Make your special purple drink.
I'm over that drink. I don't like that drink anymore. But what was it? I was just gonna say like maybe like celebrate it like New Year's. Like if there's like some official date like COVID is over, then I would do some like New Year's type of crap with my friends. I don't know.
There you go, man. Me and Dennis are aligned. It would be like,
yeah.
I think I might make my random keg party in the random park. A COVID is over party. You know what I'm saying? With hats and everything, and we throw streamers and stuff. I don't know.
I don't know about you guys, but I want to go to a sports event. Jesus, like it's been forever.
Okay, that's another one. That would be another choice too. That'd be another choice.
I haven't been to one in forever, man.
I was tempted. I mean, I was tempted to go to a Mason basketball game, but I was just like, nah, I'm good. I don't feel like going to any arena. But that's definitely on that list. All right, Dennis, you take us home.
All right. I guess since I've been doing this recently with my girlfriend, what are your favorite board games currently, or are you guys playing?
All right, hey, it's funny you say with your girlfriend, so I can say with my son. I got two boys, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. He had a birthday. We play Sorry. He's really good at Sorry.
Sorry.
And Uno.
Uno.
And it's crazy because he's already competitive and he beats me. And also, not just doing board games. He also plays Smash Brothers.
There you go.
but I punish them in that because I need to teach kids the
Yep.
lesson of losing with grace. So I give them the work. Give them it.
I like Scrabble for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Julie and I in long distance, we play some Scrabble. We get it, but she beats me every time, and she's German. English isn't even her first language, so I feel stupid.
Oh, come on, Cameron.
She beats me by like 80 points, man. I'm like, I don't even know my own language, man. Come on, give me a break. It's so bad. It's so bad.
USA, well, that's great. That's funny. Actually, I'd probably lose in Scrabble too. But this has been great. Honestly, that was, I would tell you this. This is one of the things, another opportunity where having two guests on the podcast, I took some lessons myself. And it's just also, as I said earlier, your journey in regards to entrepreneurship and your hustle spoke to me about just believing in yourself. So hopefully whoever listens to this episode, regardless, hopefully, hey, plug for your own SpecUdate, get into SpecUdate. But if not, if you don't get into that, at least hopefully you learn from these two young entrepreneurs that you should be able to believe in yourself and chase whatever you want to chase and just devote time, regardless of if you get that external reward immediately, that you believe, you have this strong belief that it's going to work. I really am empowered by that. And I want to thank you, gentlemen, for, just giving me that spark tonight to think about like that, like, believe in yourselves and keep a grind. So as this episode closes, this is the part of the show I call shout outs and plugs. So you two get to shout out whoever you want to get a shout out, show love to anyone. And then plug anything that you need to plug. I'll be writing down in my show notes. And then, so when the listeners listen to this episode, all the things you plug will be in the show notes. So stage is set, take turns, whatever. Shout outs and plugs for you two gentlemen.
Shout out to the haters. No, I'm just kidding. To all those Mason people who know me as a SpecUdate guy, I'm really genuine, down to earth, and I just want, to help people, connect people, and I hope you guys know that out there. I know I'm talking to a very few select people, but everyone out there, if you wanna meet new people, you wanna have fun doing it, you wanna enjoy meeting friends and finding dates, and having trouble meeting people in person right now, especially maybe, try out the app, try out SpecUdate, follow us on Instagram, see what we're about at SpecUdate on Instagram. Check out our website, SpecUdate.com. We're on the App Store, we're on Google Play, and we're really excited for what the future holds, and we hope you try out our app. And if not, we hope you got something out of this podcast and what we've kind of expressed.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, guy, shout out to Cass and my parents. I know they listen to the podcast and stuff and other videos that have listened. So, but I guess Cameron got all the all that the good stuff out there too. So
yeah, no more plugs needed.
No more plugs. Well, thank you too, gentlemen, for being on this podcast tonight. I really appreciate it, and definitely anyone else, if you're listening out there and you're looking for a relationship or just social connection, give SpecUdate a try. Definitely, support these young men as they're really trying to do something to create social connection during this time of, pandemic and all those things. So this is just a great opportunity for others to really connect with each other and really, really find authentic relationships, because I know that's something very important, and it's very important to your well-being is social connection and really building relationships with others. Additionally, if you're a Mason Nation, we just need to support our own Patriots with their business ventures, right? Like, so Mason supports Mason, Patriots support Patriots. So, if you're out there listening, you're in the Mason Nation, please support these two young gentlemen. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow Positive Philter on all platforms. Share this episode with your family and friends. If you have a question for the podcast, it's 571-336-6560. That's 571-336-6560. Spreading positivity is a movement. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening to Positive Philter, a podcast that focuses on family, friends, career, with a little self-help along the way. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your family and friends, and like the Facebook page, Spreading Positivity Movement. Thanks for listening.